So if you've been working with a client for a few months and things have been going well, then that presents you with the opportunity to potentially upsell to them. That can mean increasing the number of hours that you're doing on the activity that you've already been brought in to do, or it can mean expanding into another service which you may offer, or another service which you can bring an external supplier in the form of another freelancer in on. It all comes down to, though, how you go about having that conversation with the client in order for them to give you that level of approval. The two different ways I've done it, it tends to be the softer approach, as it were. It's not a, you need this service, but by the way, I happen to offer it, are you interested? After the point of about 3 months of working with a client, you should have built up enough of a rapport and enough of a decent relationship, if everything has been going well, in order to be able to potentially start having these conversations. Now, this is why the lessons on understanding how your client communicates and sending them good news and being as interested as you can about their client's industry really comes to pay off. At that point, they're already going to be very bought into you, and hopefully likewise you are very bought into their business. So it seems therefore like a natural fit that taking on more work with you is a sensible solution. So there's been two ways that I've been able to upsell clients in the past. The first has been finding a complementary service which aligns to what I'm already doing. So to give you an example, I recently started working with an e-commerce website who specializes in fitness clothing. Now, I was brought in to focus exclusively on their SEO to bring in more traffic. But if you were to look at the search engine results pages that were appearing, you could see that the overall real estate of that screen was absolutely dominated by ads in the form of traditional ads and Google shopping ads. It was one of those things where that then opens up the conversation, and an honest conversation at that, saying, well, look, even if I do the best job possible and we get the client to position one for what it is they are targeting, they are still going to be dominated by ads sort of left, right and centre, so that the overall amount of traffic they're going to win is going to be good, but it's not going to be enough. That then opens up the conversation. Well, if you want to win at Google, you need to be in a position where you are dominating both the ad space and the organic results which come about as a result of SEO. So therefore, that opens up the conversation immediately of, okay, well, would you be interested in a PPC service? And from there, you can quote for it and you can speak to them in terms of the sales process that we've been through in previous lessons and see if they are interested. It might be the fact that they simply don't have the marketing budget but are keen to do it. But either way, it shows that you're expressing other ideas and looking at the marketing at large, not just your service in isolation. So it's something which, if nothing else, helps to strengthen the client relationship because they can look upon you as the expert in all things digital marketing, not just the specific thing that you're working on at that time. The other way I've managed to upsell clients has almost been a mistake that I've made historically in the past, which is selling not enough time in order to be able to do their work. What you'll find is sometimes is that if you're selling your hours in return for a fixed price, that you simply don't have enough time because the client sends you so many demands for one thing or another. It might be that their business is very fast growing and therefore you need to keep up pace. Obviously, it's a choice of when to have these conversations, but it's quite easy just to turn around and say, actually, you know what? We are making progress on this given service, but you could be making so much more progress at a faster pace if we were to increase the hours. And again, if you have a good relationship with the client, they should at least be at the stage where they go, okay, well, could you send me across some prices and I will have a think or have a look. All it's therefore a case of is working out a reanalysis of what hours or what price you're willing to charge. And in these instances, I've just sent across a quick email identifying, how much more money they would need to pay. And in return, they would get these additional things, or you'd get more done more quickly. With both of those instances, they've been relatively easy processes to go through in order to be able to essentially win more work and win more money from the same client. One of the other lessons I'll also be covering the whole concept about not having all your eggs in one basket, because you don't want to be taking on too many hours with a single client for other reasons which I will explain. But if there's opportunities there in order to be able to win a few more hours or a couple of £100 extra from a given client, then it makes perfect sense. Ultimately, it's a lot easier to go out there and work with an existing client rather than trying to find and convince and convert someone who's never worked with you previously. So it makes sense to do it. It's just a case of spotting the opportunities of where you can potentially add more value to their business. And it's also making sure that you're working on all the other things and the lessons that we've previously covered about making sure that you're communicating with the client effectively and making sure that you're interested in their business. A lot of the clients that I work with do make a point of saying, oh, we think of you as part of the marketing team, or we think of you almost as an employee. Now that's a great position to be in because it makes the barriers to getting more work out of them so much easier. So when you feel you're at that stage, test the water and see how it goes. If they do say no for whatever reason, try and work out why they're objecting and see if you can overcome their objections. If nothing else, you can take that information and learn from it, so going forwards in the future, if there's another opportunity that presents itself, you can do a more effective job at hopefully winning some more work from them.